Hi, I'm Hari Shamsundar and I'm the CEO of Navi Mutual Fund. I'm here to talk about Navi's new NFO or new fund offer, which is the Navi Nifty India Manufacturing Index Fund. So Navi Nifty India Manufacturing Index Fund gives a way to invest in India's largest manufacturing companies. What it does is that it looks at the 300 of India's largest companies and picks our largest manufacturers among them. So the NFO period will be from 12th August to 23rd August. We believe that the Indian manufacturing sector is witnessing a transformational change. There are many factors coming together and the opportunities here look exciting. These changes are not just domestic or what we are trying to take control of, but it's an external confluence of factors also which are coming together. On the external side, we're seeing companies looking away from their traditional supply chains or traditional ways of manufacturing, destinations of manufacturing, and starting to look at India as a partner or as a destination for manufacturing. On the domestic side as well, we have been putting together the building blocks to be able to harness our potential. The signs are there. The signs are there in the near term. Capital expenditure has been picking up. Infusion of more capital into the entire sector has also been picking up. We've seen signs of mergers and acquisitions. We've seen PE and VC also getting interested in the sector. This sector, we believe, is buzzing. And we believe that this points to the creation of a theme which could endure and drive India's economic growth in the coming years. So India's manufacturing sector accounts for about 17% of India's GDP, and it's been stable at those levels. India's GDP is about 3% of the global GDP. But if you look at manufacturing exports, we are 1.5% of the global trade, and this means that India is underrepresented. A recent consulting report said that we have the potential to increase these exports from $418 billion in FY22 to about $1 trillion by FY28. And this is because of a combination of factors. We are looking at the domestic push, the internal push which we are giving to manufacturing. And along with that, we're seeing external factors also fall into place. So what has been done in India? The production-linked incentive scheme introduced by the government is a game changer. This program is an intelligently designed program. What it does is that it invites investments into the country by private manufacturers, and then it incentivizes them to raise the production level every year. What this means is that at a point where India has no manufacturing base, the manufacturers come in and are incentivized to set up the facilities. Then as they grow their production, they're incentivized to increase the production, and second, the scale grows. And what that means is that the cost of production reduces. So we start off by catering to India, in the Indian market, and India can then move towards the being Atmanirbhar or the Atmanirbhar Bharat program. But then very soon, India is producing for the globe as well. It's producing for the world as well. And this is what we have seen in the classic example of what's happening in the mobile phone manufacturing. Mobile phone manufacturing in India started off by just looking at simple assemblies of phone. You had most of the equipment being imported, but you're just assembling those parts. Now we are moving up the chain. We started off with simple assembly, now we are moving backward, and now we're starting to look at manufacturing semiconductors and complex electronics equipment in the country as well. This is a classic example of how it will play out, and now this is one example which I've given you, but this scheme now spans 14 sectors ranging from electronics to semiconductors to even textile goods and automotive components as well, to even drones even now. There's a PLI scheme for that as well. So to accompanied with this, you have the government also looking at signing free trade agreements with trading partners and also modifying the foreign direct investment policies for certain sectors such as the defense manufacturing equipment as well in the country. Stepping back, other building blocks are also falling in place to enable India to emerge as a manufacturing destination. What manufacturing needs is high quality infrastructure to be in place, whether this is in terms of the roads or whether it's in terms of the ports which are in place. Now, the National Infrastructure Pipeline envisages large amounts of investments into infrastructure in the coming years. PM's Gati Shakti Master Plan looks to implement this these investments to ensure that multimodal logistics are in place to enable the movement of manufactured products from the plant to the market, whether it is in India or whether it's export destinations. So these are things which have fallen into place in the country, and manufacturing is set to grow in India on the virtue of what we have been doing, or what the country has been doing to put itself in a position to be able to take advantage of external opportunities. What about the external opportunities? But we are seeing that the external pieces are also falling into place. We are seeing the building blocks fall into place for the companies which have earlier been dependent on China as a manufacturing hub to now look at India as a destination. Why? Because the world has become more complex. Supply chains have become more fragile. We've seen many disruptions in the last couple of years where the supply chains have become very tight. We've seen delays in the manufacture of all kinds of products. And this means that companies are very cognizant, have realized that they need to diversify their manufacturing source. This also means that India, with its large labor force, it has access to raw materials, and a skilled labor force is well positioned to take advantage of these opportunities which are emerging. The Nifty India Manufacturing Index looks to capture these emerging trends in manufacturing and invest in the companies which are looking to gain from the growth in manufacturing. With about 79 stocks in the index currently, it is well diversified both sectorally and in terms of size. In terms of sectors, the large sectors include automotive components, autos and automotive components. You have healthcare, you have capital goods as well, which are about close to 18-20%. And you have other sectors as well. You've got sectors such as metals and mining, you've got sectors such as chemicals and textiles. Each of these sectors are looking to gain from the manufacturing theme which is emerging. In terms of size of the stocks, about 65% of the stocks are large cap, while 35% or close to that is mid cap. In terms of the top 5 stocks, we've got Sun Pharma, we've got Reliance Industries, we've got names such as Tata Steel and automotive giants such as Maruti Suzuki and M&M. But that's the current composition in terms of the top 5 stocks for the index. Well, this is a thematic fund. Now, manufacturing as a theme is something we believe will endure for the coming years and is looking very interesting from a 5 to 10 year perspective. Given the positive outlook which we have for the sector and the diversified nature of the fund, we believe that it looks interesting and merits consideration. However, we request you to evaluate the fund independently or along with your advisor and along with the required risk factors as well, and appropriately weight it in your portfolios. The Navi Nifty India Manufacturing Index Fund is Navi's 7th fund since July 2021. Together, these fund of funds and index funds have over 1,000 crores of assets under management and over 1 lakh customers. Navi is building an organization which is customer-centric and technology-first. This is reflected in our products and services, which are simple, affordable, and accessible. We look forward to launching more such products in the coming months.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully. म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार के जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।